Hey everyone, it's Shantae Moore, certified financial educator, and welcome back to my channel. Hello and welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you all for following me. First of all, I just want to apologize for my lack of not posting a video. January was absolutely insane in a good way, a really good way. And then when I was ready to start recording again, I got really sick coming home from a trip out of town, and I basically lost my voice. So I'm even still just, getting over that, about 90% back to having my full voice back. But I have so much that I want to talk to you guys about. I was like, okay, I have to get back on recording these videos. My goal is to drop a video at least once a week because there's so many things and so many topics that I want to share with you all. So thank you for hanging in there with me. I promise that I will get much more better. So to get started with today's topic, as you can see, the title of the video is, will there be a recession in 2020? And I wanted to do this quick video because, probably for the last 2 or 3 years, if you've been watching the markets or if you've been concerned about, what would happen to your investments, one of the biggest questions that has been coming up is, will there be a recession? So just to kind of back up a little bit, if you've been following the markets, we have been on an incline since 2008, actually since 2009. The markets have been going up. For the past, this is going into our 11th year. We don't know what the markets will do. They've been going up and up and up. At some point, we expect them to pull back, meaning not that we would necessarily go into recession, but sometimes, the market might take a dip, because historically, every 7 to 8 years, the market will go up and then it'll drop, and then it'll go up again and then it'll drop. And this has been since the stock markets have been in existence. Historically, we would see that trend at every 7 to 8 year trend. And now that we're in this super cycle as it's turned, because the markets have been consistently going up for the past 11 years, a lot of people are worried, like, when will the markets pull back? Are we going to have a recession anytime soon? And I'm here to tell you the answer is no. In 2020, we do not see any predictions of a recession happening. So what exactly is a recession? It's an economic term that says that we have a negative GDP reported for 2 consecutive quarters in a row. So if you're talking about 2 quarters, we're talking about 6 months. So this isn't something that's just going to happen overnight. This is something that we will see, a lot of statistics, a lot of numbers, a lot of measurements that will be followed and taken to say, okay, things are not looking better. It's been 4 or 5, 6 months. Now we can officially say that we're in a recession. I think the bigger question, though, is, will the markets drop? So just to share a couple things, like I said, I was out of town. I actually went out of town twice in January, but my last trip, I actually went to a convention to where myself, my business partners, we get up to date and trained by our top industry experts to help us with our investment business. In particular, it's a lot to do with our investment business. And, the company that I work with, they brought in all these top economists from different large investment companies, and they basically just gave us like a state of the union of what's going on in the markets so that I could learn information, so that I could talk to my clients and kind of guide them with their investment accounts. And literally across the board, and this happened last year when I went to the same training, they're all generally telling the same story. Like, yes, the markets have been doing great. In 2019, most people, the markets have performed upwards of about 30%, even a little bit more. And they've been doing pretty well so far in 2020, and they don't see the markets falling or tanking no time this year, even going into 2021. So to answer that question, do we foresee a recession happening? No, we don't. So when it comes to your investments, because if you're watching this, maybe you have a 401k you've been watching, maybe you've been doing some type of investing on your own, and you're like, should I stay in the market? Should I pull out? Will the markets drop? That's where you want to work with a professional like myself. Like, if the markets drop tomorrow or over the next week or so, I don't worry about it, because I know that the way that I invest my clients' money is very tactical. We're very strategic. The investment companies that I work with, they're the ones who are the experts in, managing the market, not managing, they look at the markets, they look for trends, they do calculations, they do all these in-depth analysis, things that I don't have time to do. But because I work with them and they're partners, They are the ones who are able to help me manage my clients' investments, because they'll be able to forecast, wow, this is going on in China. This is what's happening in the political scene. This is what's happening with, different quarter earnings that's being reported. And they'll be the ones to really help, determine, should I change any type of investments? One thing, let me just, for example, like in December 2018, the market dropped like 500-600 points. And in the fourth quarter, pretty much everybody lost some type of money. Like your fourth quarter statement would have shown some type of loss, whether it was a little or a lot. And it freaked a lot of people out at that time. They actually pulled their money out of their investments. They said, well, a recession is coming. I pull all my money out the investments. I don't know if I'm going to even get back in, because I don't know what's going to happen with the market. And the market turned right back around. It went right back up. Like I mentioned earlier, in 2019, it was a great year to be invested. You would have earned, if you were strategically and diversified and working with a professional, you would have earned, upwards of 20%, maybe even 30% interest over the last year. But because a lot of people don't know any better, they don't work with a professional, once they took their money out, from their, put it in a cash position in December 2018, more than likely they did not reinvest into the market because they were scared. And they missed out on a lot of growth over the year. But that's just what happens when you don't work with a professional who can actually give you some guidance and insight. So at the end of the day, it's all about diversification. It's all about having professional management of your money. I tell people all the time, especially when it comes to investing, don't try to do this stuff on your own. Work with somebody like me who's professionally licensed to handle investments. Someone who can handle your investment should have what's called a securities license. Everybody who claims they're a financial advisor, financial professional, they don't even have that license. So you want to work with someone like me who's fully licensed to handle that, and who also has an awesome company that they're associated with, who brings in these top-notch investment companies, who have these economists who their job every day is to look at the trends and calculate the numbers and look at what's going on in politics. That's an economist's job. They're the ones who would be able to say, this is what I predict could happen. And the ones that we work with, their predictions have been on point. So I'm absolutely not worried about any type of recession happening. I mean, obviously we don't know. We can't predict the future 100%, but based on my knowledge, my industry experience, and the professional economists and resources that I have access to, 2020 will continue to be a great year to invest. So I'll end the video there. If you're looking for professional help, or if you have some questions, I will share a link in the description box below about how to connect with me. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon.